Might want to mute. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Seen and Spoken. You are here with the Good Life Bookstore. My name is Good Life Russ, and you can follow us at goodlifebookstore.com. You can also follow us at the Good Life Bookstore on all social medias. So make sure you check us out.
And how can they find you?
I'm also at Good Life Russ everywhere.
Hey everyone, I'm Chloe Simone, and I finally listened to Good Life Russ and updated my social media to the same name everywhere. So you can actually find me at Chloe Simone Studio on all social media platforms because I can listen sometimes. I like to take good advice, you know. We are here with a wonderful, fabulous novelist. Her name is JJ Winston. She has written, I believe, 3 books already, plus a workbook, which I got to hear about that correlation to that. She is a lover of art. She is a supporter of all things that is about the good life, we shall say. And she also is a master's trained, licensed social worker, and I just found out an attorney as well. I don't know what else she has done. I'm excited to hear what else she has to say, but we're here for it. Miss JJ, tell us who you are.
You know what? I am a novelist, but also about to run out of juice on my phone. See that? Whew. Look, I'm having all kind of technical difficulties, but I'm back and I'm ready and I'm good.
Yes.
I am a social worker who spent 19 years as the client rights officer for my local alcohol, drug, and mental health board. I was the advocate for people who had mental health issues. So writing has always been something that I aspired to do. You know, I took Oprah's advice. She said that everybody should have a bucket list of 100 things on it that they want to do in a lifetime. And so I felt that I'm such a lover of books. I read so many books. I'm like, you know what? I think I can do that. So I decided to try it. And what I wanted to do was use my art as a way to advocate for issues that are important to me. So mental health is something that I've spent a lot of my professional career working in. And I really wanted to use my art to raise awareness about mental health in the African American community. And then I wanted to add in some other things that are important to me. One being sickle cell disease, because I have a child who lives with sickle cell disease. And additionally, my dad passed away from sickle cell when I was 8. And I have 2 aunts and an uncle that passed away. And I have a number of nieces and nephews who are also living with sickle cell. And so a lot of people don't know a lot about it. They know some things about it, but not a lot. So I wanted to use my fiction to raise awareness about that as well. And lastly, human trafficking, because you all are fellow Ohioans, even though we don't live in the same city. We know that Ohio is like one of the number 4 for human trafficking in the country. And so I really wanted to make sure people understood that this is something that's serious, and it is it's slavery. So we want to make sure we're eradicating slavery. So we all need to be working against that. So that's why I wrote all these books.
Well, that was very well put. I think that was a good foot forward in this start. So a question I like to ask all the authors is give us some insight on what it was like for you when you grew up. Was books a dynamic part of your life? Did you grow up with bookshelves through the house? Or did you have to go to the library to read? What was that like for you?
That's a great question. Nobody ever asked me that before. But I did not grow up with books like that in my house, but I was an avid reader. I always went to the library, and all the librarians in my community and my surrounding communities knew me.
Mm,
I learned how to read when I was 3.
mm,
I was always someone who could speak pretty well, so they always put me in the like in Bible school, they would put me in the older class. So
okay.
I think I was like 2 or 3, and they put me in the class with like the first graders, and they could read. And my mother said I would not leave them alone till they taught me how to read. And I have a granddaughter. She learned how to read at 3 as well. I
Mm,
just love books. But now, just a question for you as a writer, because I'm gonna ask you a question too.
mhm,
It's difficult for me to read other people's work now when I'm trying to write
mhm.
because I feel as though I'm somehow stealing their style, or I feel like, I
Like
just,
you're influenced.
yeah, and it makes me nervous. So I don't read the way I used to because I'm trying to write books now, and that's hard.
Mhm. Very.
Do you find yourself in that same situation?
For me, when I get closer to the end, I'll read other people's work, but for like a point of reference. Like I'll pay
Okay.
attention to like how they use like enunciation marks, or you know what I mean, quotations, or like how they write dashes, or you know what I mean. I'll pay attention to that kind of stuff more so than like what they're writing about. Because I agree, I don't even like to talk to people when I'm writing because I feel like what you're saying potentially could get into my story, and I want
Right.
it to 100% be my voice. But a lot of times I'll read like bestsellers, James Baldwin before I publish because I notice too they make mistakes. So that'll give me a little more peace of mind. Like, okay, if I got a misspelled word, you know what I mean? This book can still do really well. Like it can still reach people. Because like all the books I read got errors and marks and something that look like I don't think they meant to put that there, and they just left it. You know what I mean? It's been there 50
They really
years now.
do.
Nobody changed it. So it gives
But
I look at people's work for that, just so I can get out of my head and say, okay, it's fine. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm gonna let it go.
when I put out my first book, I've had so many errors in it that I really do feel as though it damaged my brand. But see, what we need to understand. So what happened is, because I'm going to be candid, I write for a living. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But I don't necessarily write fiction for a living.
Mm,
But I am a judicial officer. I'm a magistrate. I do a lot of writing. And even in my job as the client rights officer, I would have to write, reports and write. Uh, yeah. Is it ringing on your thing too?
Yes, you gotta
Okay.
look
they
at
My
trying to get
daughter
on here
forgot that
with
I,
you.
I was doing the interview. I told her I was going to be unavailable, but she didn't remember, I
She knew
guess.
what
Are you
she was
guys
doing.
still
She
there?
got her shout out.
Yeah, we still here.
We're here.
She might have to leave and come back.
Yeah, I think it froze up a little bit.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
I don't think so. I
All
think
right.
it disconnected. So we'll give her a second to jump back in. I thought that was actually a really good question that she asked, by the way. In terms of in terms of oh, here we go.
I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry.
You
You're
good?
good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can
ma'am.
hear you.
Can you hear us?
Please
Ed?
accept my sincerest apologies.
Oh,
I
it's
don't know
all
what
good.
happened. You were
E-
just gone, and I'm like, hello?
Errors happen. This is what we was just talking about.
Right.
Exactly, because
It's
we're
all
human.
good.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, but I paid a lot of money to have, that's what I was telling you all, to pay someone to do a substantive editing.
Mm,
Uh-huh.
And it didn't work out. Like was just really had too many errors. So I had to pay a new editor
mm,
to redo it. But that new editor, whose name is Erica Parker, she's also known as Zaria Banks. became one of my writing besties. So sometimes things that are bad, that it seem like they're bad, are there because that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
If I had never had that happen to me, I never would have met her.
Right.
And she has been really, really a big help to me. Her and my other writing partner, Michael Payne. The two of them have been a really big help to me because when you are a novice and this is not what you do, you need people who can help you. And we all need to be helping each other because it's really hard out here, y'all.
Yeah. And we gotta be willing to accept the help too.
Absolutely.
So I know that you gave us a little bit of background about yourself. Tell us a little bit how that background influenced your characters inside this latest book.
My books are a series.
Mm-hmm.
So it follows a fictional family who lives in my hometown here on the beautiful shores of Northeast Lake Erie, Cleveland, okay, home of the Browns, okay. All throughout my novels, you will see the Cleveland influence because, of course, I'm really proud of my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we've gotten such bad press. I got to make sure people know until they come here and then people really like it, you know, when they visit. But I really want to do something different. When people think of individuals with mental health,
Mm-hmm.
they often think about people who are, you know, of lower socioeconomic status,
Mm-hmm.
you know, homeless. People don't think of folks with mental illness as just everyday people.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand that mental health is just like any other chronic issue.
Yeah.
People have diabetes, people have high blood pressure. We don't throw them away.
Right.
And what happened is this, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit, sometimes I got this really funny sense of humor, but I want you guys to follow me with it. When you work in the world of mental health and we see somebody who is poor and have a mental health issue, we say, you know what, that person is crazy. But if they're rich and they are showing signs of a mental health issue, we say they're eccentric. Okay, that's what we do. So I really want people to understand that mental health doesn't have a face like that. It doesn't have a socioeconomic status. It doesn't have a religion. So my characters are educated, middle-class people who are dealing with, you know, everyday life.
Yeah.
When one of them gets some traumatic news and it really awakens the underlying mental health issue. And what happens because of the stigma where people are afraid to get help. And I just really wanted to examine that. And I really want to talk about it in the African American community. And I want people to understand that we have a duty to each other.
Absolutely.
And that is to help each other. And, you know, I don't know your family, but you do. So you know if something's going on with your family. I don't know that.
Right.
But if you see something that is alarming, you may have to intervene. And the person who might be dealing with that, they may have to seek help.
Mm-hmm.
But what we have to also understand as African American individuals and people of minority communities, we already have a lot of labels. So people are fearful of having another label. So what we need to do is take what people would look as a disorder and not make it something that is stigmatizing.
Right.
So that's what I'm hoping that my books help do is break down those stigmas. And so that people would have a conversation. Another thing that my books do is they examine family secrets. Many of us have family secrets. And we're told you don't go out telling your business to people, particularly if you are a member of a minority community. And what we need to understand is our family members told us that not because they were trying to hurt us.
Right.
Oftentimes they were trying to help us because when we would disclose things, people, you know, the social workers would take our kids. I mean, we're gonna keep it real. But that, you know, advice that was given to us to protect us can now be what do us in. You know what I mean? Because there are things we do need to have a conversation about or talk about and get assistance. And when you don't, there can be tragedies that occur because of that.
Yeah. And then, if you don't mind, can I piggyback off of that a little bit?
Please do.
One thing that is actually going to come up for like our mental health panel discussion is actually Sunday. Wow, time is flying. But we were talking about how important is it for mental health professionals, caretakers, doctors, nurses, therapists to look and sound like us, to have our life experience, and to be able to give us things that we can actually utilize as it applies, like specifically to us. How important is that? And then
I think it's extremely important.
Well,
it's very important. And just to piggyback on you, I do a free newsletter. You can, come to my website at www.novelistjjwinston.com and you can subscribe for free. And this month, that's what I'm talking about, is Black Mental Health Awareness Month. And it is so important. And one of the things that people cite as reasons for not getting help is because there are not enough people who look like us. And it's even more or less people who are psychiatrists, the people who prescribe. And there's a difference sometimes in how we do these medications, people being misdiagnosed. That makes people fearful of getting help.
Yeah.
But we need to always be encouraging and go to people who do look like us, because they sometimes do understand our experience. But if that is impossible, we have a duty to basically vet the people that we're going to treatment with. Let me talk to you about what you know about my community. How will you be able to help me? We need to interview the people that we're going to, and that's okay. Because you are paying money for a service. So therefore, you should be able to, ensure that the people who you're going to can understand your life experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. I think it points out the disparity of how a lot of these systems are created early. Because like for me, example, I have autism and I have a son with autism. So a lot of autistic kids get put into the learning disability classes, and that's not really what autism is.
It's not.
But the school doesn't want to feel the pressure of having to hire more autistic teachers. You know what I mean?
I agree.
This difference. So now this kid goes through life after being in certain classrooms, riding certain buses, and having the stigmas. And you're not just going through an experience. Your classmates are experiencing you in this space as well. And this starts to become, the normalcy later on in life.
Yeah.
So I think it is very important for us to have that representation in books for people to know, like you were saying, sometimes we do have to speak up, even though originally we were told not to. Right. Times have changed. We have more information now. We have more data now. So we can't keep making the same mistakes, because then it's going to seem like we're not trying to fix anything. We're just facilitating whatever we have left.
And we have to advocate. Somebody has to stand up. You know what? When you are writing about autism, you're standing up for the autistic community. You're making sure that people understand you're just as intelligent, if not more intelligent, than maybe a whole lot of other people. And we need to just really work on doing that, but also forgiving people for doing what they thought was right. A lot of people have problems that stem from their childhood. Now, if you're a parent, raise your hand. I'm a parent. You said you was a parent.
Everybody.
All of us are parents in the room. You understand what I'm about to say to you. Children can always look back and tell you what you could have did different. Hell, if I knew what I know today, if I knew it yesterday, I'd be a lotto winner. And I have to have postponed this interview. Okay. Hindsight is always gonna be 2020. And sometimes parents, they do what they think is right. And that's what I really wanted to examine in my book too. They do what they think is right. Sometimes they are wrong, but you know why? Because they just people, just like you. And we have a lot of people who have issues. They're very angry with their parents about things that their parents felt that they were doing the best that they could by them. And sometimes what happens is people get older, they get wiser, they realize their parents really did do right by them. Sometimes they get older, they have kids and be like, I can't believe I'm getting this back triple. Okay, how's this possible? But we need to really talk about that too. And then also we need to sometimes seek our own therapy. And that's okay. You know what? And when I say that, that doesn't necessarily mean anything formal. Talking to your friends can be a form of therapy. There are people who go get their hair done. Their beautician is their therapist, or their barber is their therapist. I go work out. My trainer say the things that people tell him.
Right. Yeah.
Just having somebody who you feel that's safe, that you can talk to.
Yeah.
And I just want to urge your listeners, if you are that person that somebody feels you're so important that they are sharing their life with you and telling you things that they wouldn't ordinarily tell somebody else, don't weaponize their words.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's what people do. You get mad and say something, hurl words that I told you in confidence.
Right.
While I was trying to get that therapy and healing against me. That makes people build walls. And walls are hard to break down.
So just about us being more responsible for each other.
Absolutely. Being more responsible. And my book also does a lot of, it really examines marriage. And, I did some things that were a little bit, different, Russ. Like you said, you don't really like to talk to people. When I was writing my first book in particularly, I was probably polling people and they didn't realize they were being polled. Just because when people are married, you know how the old people always tell you, honey, find somebody you evenly yoked. You got to be evenly yoked. And they say, they people. Those are all questions that if you really think about it, those are the things that they were trying to tell you. Like when they say, do you know your people? Do you know their people?
Yeah.
Do you know what's going on with their family? Do you know their illnesses? Do you know, the things you need to know before you decide you want to be a part of somebody's family? Because that's something serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they say, you got to be evenly yoked. That means you got to, have a yin and a yang. It can't just be, I believe one thing and you believe something different. Opposites attract, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to stay together. People who think alike stay together. If I believe in corporal punishment and you don't, and we have kids, are we going to have this conflict? Because I'm going to beat the kid down. And then you're going to say, no. That's
Unhand my child.
Beat a kid down. Sorry.
You testing me, woman. That's what I'm gonna say.
I'm an old school parent. I'm old. Like my oldest kid, biological kid, will be 40 on Christmas. And then I have a stepson that is 46. What am I saying? So, we're from a different generation. This whole gentle parenting thing don't work for us.
Yeah.
But also
we see
abusive parenting also doesn't work either. Like there are people who they've abused their children. They don't realize they did. But if you beat your kids for everything, your kids become immune to beating. I believe in discipline, like the way court is ran. I am not going to give you the electric chair for a parking ticket.
Right.
I'm sorry, y'all. It's happening again because this child keeps forgetting. I'm just gonna let it ring. Can y'all hear it?
Yeah. No, we can't. I can't hear it now.
But then I can't hear you though. So hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm scared to hit something because I lost you last time.
We'll be here. We'll be here.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
right. I'm
leave out.
Not giving the electric chair for a parking ticket is amazing. That's hilarious to me. So I actually have a question for both of y'all. I think we got lost again.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick her. She can come back.
Yeah. So, as a therapist as well, I would ask you the same question and how you feel like the importance of having people that look like us show up for us and to give us help. And then how responsible should we be for each other in the community?
I think the representing or having representation is vital. I don't think you can get through to somebody who you don't see middle ground with.
Mhm.
And I don't think we should be responsible for each other
Uh,
at all. All right,
I'm so sorry.
it's all
And then I
good.
also sent her a text. It's like, don't call me no more. Okay, I'm in an
It's the
interview. She's like,
second
oh,
time.
so sorry. She won't call anymore. I'm so sorry,
It's
guys.
all good. It's all good.
You can't be mama and
I'm
tell
glad you're
somebody
back.
not to call you. That's not how
Right.
it works.
That's right. She know I'll call her back. But but that's what I say. We have to look, you give discipline based on what the kid did. Everything is not that serious. You need to talk, we need to talk to our children. But what's happening also, though, we need to raise our kids with more respect. I'm very deterred and dismayed by what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
Kids don't respect the elders the way they used to. And that's not good. We're going to be old. Do we really want these kids to take care of us with what y'all seeing now? Be honest. Do you?
I got my dog. I hope my husband with me. It's just like something.
What
No.
you think, Russ? You think I'm being too harsh?
No, I would say I see it both ways because
Tell me the other way. I'll
I have
listen.
my elders I really love and respected, but a lot of people around me feared their elders, and I think they called it respect, but it wasn't that. You know what I mean? And I feel like I don't think there's a
That's fair,
harder route.
Russ.
You know what I mean? Our routes are different, so there's not a harder route. But my generation, and I'm 37, so
Yeah,
my
you younger than my
generation, and
son.
I've buried a kid, I've divorced a woman, I've buried a sibling. You know what I mean? I've lived life, so I've experienced things. So for me, I would say we did go a different route, and I let my kids ask me a lot more questions than I were able to ask elders when I was a child. You know what I mean? They have a lot more of a voice than I did,
Mhm.
and I found my voice like through art and through poetry. I didn't find it through like my childhood. I didn't have anyone I knew who was like a great speaker that I'm like, man, I want to be like so and so. I was always like, man, I have a message, I got to get this message out, and I didn't know how. So I also do agree with you. A lot of these new kids lack respect because they can ask us so much, because they know so much, but they really don't know much.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? So now
Right.
they think they know more than us, and I think too, it's our responsibility to grow. Every generation. I think a lot of parents get comfortable at some point, and they stop realizing I have to grow too. Like my kid is still watching me grow up too, and they start coming from this place of I'm grown, and that's a disparity. Like they're growing apart from you, because now everything that you are telling them to do that doesn't work out, they're going to resent you for it. If you tell them to go to college and it doesn't work out, they're going to resent you. If you tell them to wait to have kids and all their friends is running around with kids that's 6 and they just think about getting pregnant, they're going to resent you. If
I
you
just
tell
think
them to
they'll
marry the
resent you for
boys,
anything, though, Russ.
uh-huh,
But Russ, you gave some great points, and I'm gonna try to do better
yeah,
because I'm willing to listen. But I'm gonna say this. I grew up with a phenomenal mother who did allow me to have a voice, and I know you can see that.
yeah,
We were allowed to ask questions, and we were allowed to speak as long as it was done with respect. Because
mhm,
my mother felt like you. She would always say what you just said. As a kid, she thought it was unfair that young people didn't get a chance to voice what they were feeling or thinking. But we still knew, even though you were giving your, opinion, you still did what they said. And that's the problem I'm seeing now. And I just want us to be all on the same page. Our kids are dying. Our
mhm,
kids are dying in record numbers
mhm,
because what you just said, they think they know more than the adults. It's
mhm,
one way to let you have that information, but it's another thing. And I'm going to say fear is not good, but maybe a healthy fear is. And
mhm,
that's for everything. There's certain things you don't do because you got a healthy fear that wouldn't be good for you or
mhm.
your community or your family.
Right.
And we need to teach these kids that more because they don't understand. And I'm seeing too many kids die, and I'm scared of it. It just upsets me. And I'm going to tell you what else upsets me. And that's going to be in my next book. It's too many young people with guns, and you know how they look like us. Where are the kids getting all of these guns from? What is happening? We got to do something. It's not them, they're kids. It's us, because they're our kids.
Yeah.
And to me, some of these kids are getting our guns.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So can I pose a question for both of you?
Sure.
So what do we think is like the happy medium? Because we could talk about the previous generation raised us. And obviously we had some qualms about that. We had something to say. We felt that there was something about that didn't serve us well. So as a result, we started raising our children differently. But we're starting to see some residual effects of what that type of parenting looks like as well. So what would you guys say would be a good balance?
That was a great question, Chloe. An awesome question. What do you think, Russ? I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. For me, the balance is something, because I'm a historian. So when I say back in the day, I'm talking thousands of years ago. Back in the day.
I'm just talking about the 70s and 80s.
Great time too. Great time before my time, but I feel like I was there. But I feel like we have to either redefine or get back to the original concept of family. One thing that the Black family is lacking this day and age is we do not get to see every generation at the same time in the same household. We are all learning different philosophies. And back in the day, that's not what families did. The grandparents knew the grandbaby. Like everybody knew each other. We talked. We watched each other laugh. We watched each other cry. We cooked for each other. I took care of you when you weren't feeling well. You took care of me when I fell down off the bike. You know what I mean? We were a part of each other's lives, and we lived under one philosophy. It's kind of was, plaguing even our men and women now. Like you can't, like you were saying, you have to be equally yoked, especially in a marriage. We can't operate a marriage having two different plans for how the marriage works, like you were saying.
Right.
Like it will be mutable, but we have to work with one plan. And that one plan has to fit everyone in it, or it is not the plan. That is not what we're doing. And if even one person is left out, it won't work. So most of the systems we have now intentionally exclude people. They only work because everybody can't fit into it. Like the new dynamic of family. They want you to think one person can run a family, which is impossible. And back in the day, even they said it takes a village.
It does.
It takes even more than two people to do what you're trying to do with one child. So you definitely can't do it by yourself. And I think now we are still operating from fear, just a different type of fear. I believe there is depression, you know what I mean, what we're feeling in the present. And then I think there's despair. Like you are learning to live with the depression. You are starting to undermine it so much because you don't want to suffer from it anymore. But also you don't know the solution to get rid of it. And to me, the solution is we all have to be together, because what if your grandmother dealt with depression and can talk to you about it? She's in the other room or she's next to you on the couch. We can have this conversation versus me feeling like I have to go to your house to have this conversation and there's different rules at your house. So I can't even fully ask this how I really want to in your space, knowing how you feel about certain things that I may be going through right now. You get what I mean? And I think we've lost sight of that. I think a lot of people are trying to be the hero and they're not realizing if we all stepped up and did a collective part, we would be a lot better than any one of us individually.
You are so bright. And I'm gonna maybe the next name of my book needs to be Many Hands Make Light Work. Okay, because what you just said, that was really, really awesome, because you are so right. I do think that is probably the key to everything, is that we got to get back to family. We also got to remember that family isn't always blood.
Yes.
But it's the people, like you said, in our village and what we do to help each other. And you're right. I do think what you said is so correct about us thinking that one person can be a superhero. No. And I think that's a lot of reason why you'll see African-American females feeling such depression and anxiety and stress, because we don't realize that, we need to take on more of an Asian culture type philosophy.
Mm.
You know, in Asian cultures, they really do believe in yin and yang. And what it means is there can be no men if there are no women. There can be no women if there's no men. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody brings something to the table that's valuable. If we live by that code, we could be okay.
Yeah.
But what happens is people think they can be, you know, everything. You can't be everything to everybody. We all got roles.
Yeah.
And we put so much stress on ourselves. And you know what? We put a lot of material stress on ourselves too.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what happens in the world, you know. And you have to balance that. Like my kid, who is older than you all, I was just saying, my son, when he was younger, he was a teenager. He wanted one of those jackets, I don't know, like, you know, with the Pittsburgh Steelers on it, which I didn't want him to have that jacket anyway, and y'all know why. But he was a
Jeff
Pittsburgh Steeler
Hamilton.
fan.
Yeah.
A starter jacket.
The starter jackets. Okay.
Right, that's what it was called.
It was kids, yeah.
And you know, at that time you would see some, you know, young people being attacked by other young people for those jackets.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, no, he can't have that. And my husband said he's a good student, he's a great athlete. You know, why can't he have it? He's earned it. And you can't punish him because of what other people do. But trying to find that balance.
Yes.
Trying to find that balance. You know, he did earn it, but I see kids today, and it's our fault because we give them things that they did not earn.
Yes.
And then what happens is they become grown-ups and they can't understand why they failing because everybody think they're a star. When they talk about everybody getting a trophy, I really do agree with that. Well, my kid was upset because he didn't get a trophy because he was a good athlete. He didn't get best whatever. He always talks about that. You know what? I told him to go work harder. So next year you might be able to get that trophy. Nowadays, everybody be like, here's a trophy. We have to teach people to earn things. And college isn't for everybody either. We need to change the narrative.
Yeah.
I know some electricians, some plumbers that make more than me. And they got beautiful hands. They can fix stuff. And we need them. So we need to change the narrative. But this is what's important. I told my kids, they did both go to college, but they didn't have to go to college. But this is what you have to do. You have to do something. You know, all this, I'm going to take a gap year. You don't have the luxury to go toboggan in Europe or whatever it is, or backpacking. You don't get to do that. That ain't our life. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to go find yourself for a year. When you figure out who you are, then and you reach your goal.
We do if we can't backpack, if we can't go to the Alps, you know.
Not on me. You know, you can't tell me I'm gonna be taking the year off because I'm a backpack in Europe on your time. Okay.
She said there's plumbing you can do.
That's right. We need to get you skilled in something so you can start earning some, you know, some of this money. And then let's see if you want to go backpacking in Europe for a summer.
Yes. Because some things sound better in your situation. When I was younger, I was like, ooh, I want to take a year off and travel the world and just eat. And then when I got the job, I was like, who paying for all this food? Like, how
Right.
I do that?
One day you'll get to do that, maybe. That could be on your bucket list of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
You know?
something to work towards.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? But what works for me is I always studied the greats. Because, like, a part of what you were saying, Michael Jordan wouldn't be Michael Jordan if he didn't get cut from his high school team. You know what I mean? And like you said, he went to the gym and said, I'm going to get better. And that's what he did. So sometimes we do need to be rejected.
Struggle builds character. And you know what? And we need to always remind our family members and our children of that. What happens is that if you are like little and you hit the ground, it ain't gonna hurt as much as when you get big and hit the ground because you're closer to the ground when you little.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna hurt, but it ain't gonna hurt as bad.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if you hit the ground, you might get the wind knocked out of you. But you get up, you dust yourself off, and then the next time you don't get knocked to the ground. And we got to do better with our kids. But this is what happens. And I'm just going to speak plainly. It's hard for us. It's hard for our community.
Oh, I got mixed feelings.
But it is. I mean, it's been difficult. What we talk about our ancestors, and when our kids, we got the ability that our kids don't have to suffer. We don't want them to, but sometimes them suffering a little bit will make that they won't suffer anywhere near what they could suffer later.
Fine line, though. Help me with this line. Help me define this line between like the good stress, the good struggle, right? The good failing, right? It's not really failing when you look at it. Versus like what is the dream killing though? Like, where do you find that balance?
Well, you know what? I don't know. Sometimes we got to be really careful. I'm going to go back to my original premise about my book using the word crazy, which is an awful word. We should never use it like that. But when Ben Franklin was running outside with a kite, everybody thought he was crazy, right? But he was a genius. So when you say dream killing, you're right. Some things that people that's crazy to you might be forward thinking. Sometimes people are ahead of you. You're just not there yet.
And we want them to be ahead of us, actually.
Right. But we need to be really careful because you all know that you have to help people with that line. You really do. Some things, if you're going to go to college, and I ain't going to use what I could have used, and you're going to get your degree, a bachelor's degree in the art of history, and you don't plan on getting a PhD, you just wasting your time. You know you are. Yeah. And you wasting my damn money. That ain't happening here. Okay. I'm just saying. Because you have to look at college, and that's what we got to do better as. It's an investment into your future. Yeah. So if you're going to invest in a stock, you're going to invest in a loser, or you're going to invest in something that's going to give you some dividends down the line. You got to look at college like that too.
I think that was the trade-off for a lot of people in our generation. Because like I was an artist, and then I got put into like sports, and then I just happened to be good at sports. And then in high school, like I had a growth spurt. You know what I mean? So like sports paid for college. You know?
Right.
But sports,
and nobody thought you was anything as long as you can make a basket and make a damn touchdown,
like,
right?
All we gotta do, I can do that. Y'all get paid for this. I play a game, like okay. But sports beat up my body. Like it's tore my knees, and it got my back to where like they're like, this is a 50-year-old man's back. You know what I mean? Like
you don't feel it when you're young, right?
That's the trade-off, though. Like you said, that's the
everything has
duality.
A cost.
That's the yin and yang. This is because I have a background too in therapy. So this is what I ask people. Once you've gone through that situation, would you do it again? And
would you?
I would. And they ask me, what is that place that you are coming from? And I tell them, like, it's love. Like, I loved basketball was my first love, was my first crush, was my first heartbreak. What took me around the world, out the country. Like, I met guys I still talk to through basketball. That's all I would have known them from. You know what I mean? Like, I coached. I seen my kids play. Like, I got hurt. I got to come back after being hurt. Like, I could write a movie about it. You know what I mean? So I was like, yes, it was hard. Yes, I put art down for a long time. I put writing down to play basketball. Yes, it hurt me. You know what I mean? But I was like, I definitely would do it again.
That's so awesome. And you know what? My son probably wasn't as good as you. He was pretty good though. Okay. I mean, really, but he didn't. My son was one of those kids. He's a realist.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, we used to have that hoop it up. He would win it every year, his team. He was really, they were good. But my son was short.
Okay.
My son was short. He was a point guard, and he was like, so when he was real young and he was short, he was so good because, all the bigger kids wasn't coordinated, and he just destroyed them. But as the kids got taller.
Yeah.
But what happened is my son went through a major growth spurt. I knew he was going to be taller than everybody thought he would be. And he made it to about 5'11", and he says, you know what? I'm not good enough at 5'11". If I was 6'3" or 6'4", maybe I would be. And because I know I'm not good enough, and I know that even though I might be able to play in college, I'm never going to be able to be pro. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", so he definitely
See,
wasn't
right.
lying.
See,
he definitely had a point.
right. I respect
When I
it
went
though,
to
but
college, everybody was 6'9". I was like, oh, I'm the little guy. Okay.
right.
I
That's what I'm
was, it was a
saying. But
7-foot
I
guy. I said,
respected my
oh, okay.
son, but I put a lot of money and time. But this is what people got to understand. I didn't put that money and time in because I thought my son was gonna be. He played when LeBron was playing.
Yeah.
They would be in the same arena and stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I knew he wasn't gonna be LeBron. But the reason why we did it, and this is what I hope your listeners are hearing, and my daughter too. My daughter is a black belt. We didn't do it for those reasons. We do it because we want you to start something and then finish it.
Yes.
People have to be taught to, if you're going to start something, you need to finish it. There are people who start things and they never finish anything. If you got a family member or a kid like that, you got to help them learn how to finish things. Sometimes, and I mean, sometimes it needs to be a reward system, but show them the joy of finishing things. Because if they do that and when they're young, as an adult, they're going to do it. And how successful do you think they're going to be when you go to work and your supervisor say, here go the task, and you don't finish it?
Right.
You ain't going to have no job, and you ain't going to have no vittles, and you ain't going to have no shelter. Okay.
So parenting, really what I tried to learn, I'm still learning about it. Parenting wasn't about being told what to do, because that's what I felt like I got told what to do, but they thought that was the best thing based on what they knew and where they were at that time.
What do you think the best thing is now?
I want to equip my kids. I am literally just they are the toolbox, and I'm just telling them what tools could be used for what things based on my life experience, and then they can decide what they build with the tools that I gave them. I just want to equip my kids.
Do you agree with that, Russ?
Yeah. I would say I instill education. And I say this with love, but a lot of people in our generation feel like we were looked after and not parented. And I see both sides, you know what I mean? Because we do that. People in my generation does that now too. They babysit their kids. They're not really raising them. They don't correct them. They don't educate them. They don't tell them like, this is why me and your dad's not together anymore. You know what I mean? They're not treating them like little people. And
right, they're telling them way too many grown-up things.
Yes, 100%. And for
I
me,
agree, and that's too much stress for children
as they come to me. So I don't say, well, you're 15, we need to talk about this. When they come to me and they're like, well, why do you got to be 18 to drive a car? I'm like, okay, this is a conversation we can have. You know what I mean? Because you're probably going to get distracted. You might be too short. There's a lot of reasons they want you to get older before you drive a car. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's not that hard. It's just turning the wheel. Like, I think you'll be fine. But then the other things, I'll tell them, like, I don't think you're prepared for this information. Like, I don't think it will really change your life if you knew this. And this might be too much for you to grasp. And I don't want to cause you more stress trying to get you to understand something you might not even understand until you have kids, some of these things. Because
it's so hard, isn't it? You know what? I feel like kids, there's no one size fits all.
Right.
And I think that's what we need to respect. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to your audience, so please don't take it as such. But because I just am very plain spoken, and sometimes they be like, who is that lady? Okay. So I always got to make sure that I give that recur. I don't know why these people are calling me. Okay. They never call. And now they're calling. I'm sorry. I thought I did. My God, I'm sorry, y'all.
You're fine. I'll get her.
This is hilarious because this is my life. My phone will be the driest as the Sahara.
Why mine on Do Not Disturb. Sometimes I forget it's on there. I just leave it.
I tried to put mine on Do Not Disturb, and it was like, no.
We have like 50 minutes. I was gonna say we could probably do like another question or so and wrap her up.
Okay.
This has been good.
It's been a wonderful conversation. I'm sure this has been a very entertaining live, and that it would be even more interesting watching back.
Yeah.
But no, I like how this really was more of a dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely feel like people.
I am so sorry. You know what? Your audience is gonna be like, "Who is this lady? What is
She just do what
Okay.
she wants, huh?
Well, they're
Okay,
gonna
I'm
say
a,
she clearly popular. You know, we want
I
to.
never get no calls, and I'm doing the interview, and everybody want to blow my phone up. But what I was gonna say is, we all know our children. People know their kids. I remember when I was a kid, and if I got in trouble in school, and the teacher said I did 1, 2, and 3. My mother would say either, yes, she did that because I know that's what she would do. And other things, my mother would be like, she absolutely did not do that.
Right.
I can tell you right now, she didn't do it
Yeah.
because you know your children. So sometimes, there are things that, your kids aren't going to be good at. And they're going to be things your kids are great at. It's our job to figure out what our kids are good at and what they're great at. That's our job. And that's not always easy. Like when my son, he was such an athlete and it was time for him to go to college, he got his degree in sports management because I know how much he loves sports. And I'm like, if you're not playing sports, then maybe you might want to manage sports. Now, he didn't, but it's a management degree. So he now manages other things. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't do sports, but it actually helped him with some of his other endeavors. But just trying to find what he loved wasn't as always as easy. With my daughter has sickle cell and she had to spend a lot of time at the doctors. She loves everything medical related. So having sickle cell helped her have a purpose because from the moment she was young, she knew she wanted to work in a health care arena somehow. You know what I'm saying? So just trying to help your kids figure that out. But we do need to be careful without not overwhelming our kids with too much information. And that's what I tried to do with my books is when you read them, you have to really look at everybody's point of view. And again, not judge people so harshly because there are no wrong or right answers. So that's what I started with saying how I would poll people and, talk about relationships. How much do you think you should tell your spouse? Some people say, I don't want to know all that stuff. I don't want to know about every girl you ever dated or every girl you ever kissed or every family member you ever met. I don't want to know all that. And some people say, if you don't tell me all that, you lied to me. You all like, yeah. And that's the part about being evenly yoked. Finding that person that shares the same belief system as you. Because, some people want to know everything. Some people don't want to know nothing. And some things are more important to know. Yeah, I'm serious. Some things are more important. Like I remember I asked somebody if you had was dating somebody new and found out they had a serious drug problem 25 years ago, but they've been sober for 25 years. Would you want to know that? Some people would say, yes, I would want to know it. Because then, see, Russ is going now. Russ, what are your thoughts? Would you want to know?
I want to know something like that.
How about you, Chloe?
I want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know too.
I want to know what's going on. I don't want to accuse you of nothing one day accidentally.
Maybe I need to keep you away from certain things.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Also, you don't know how those things might revisit their life later and not necessarily in the same way. So I would want to know how to best support or, what could potentially be going on that we didn't know anything about.
And I want to be safe around you. You dig? Like, let's say you were a drinker and you didn't drink for 20 years. Like, I'm not saying if I hand you a drink, it's going to send you off track, but I don't want to find out. Like, I don't want to be the one that gets you back on track. You dig?
Right,
so
right.
I want to know. I won't even drink around you. I won't take you to a bar. You know what I mean?
Let's say it's a little different if y'all met at the bar, though. And then there's some different questions for that.
Right. But you know what? There are things that people may not tell you. So, I remember talking to somebody and they said, you know what? Whoever I date, whoever I'm with, they're never going to know everything about me. Somebody told me that. They said some things are just for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody deserves 100% access to anybody. It doesn't
Yes,
matter who you are.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I do think also simultaneously, there's a lot more that we can share. I think what's happening is two trains of thought. So one is what I believe is going on with younger people right now is it's an identity crisis. So a lot of people don't know who they are. They're lost. And social media is saying, well, you should be rich by now. What have you been
I
doing? You should
agree.
be, why ain't you pretty? You know what I mean? They're like, why ain't I pretty?
Because
Like,
you can never match
hold
up. You
up,
can
what's going
never
on?
look like those. You know how they say the people that's touched up? I saw one of those BET models, and the
Yeah.
girl said she quit because she felt so guilty because young girls were upset because they were striving to look like her, and she wasn't even real because they
Yeah.
were touching her up and doing all these things. Whatever they were showing wasn't the real her. And I hope your listeners know, even though we're on social media right now, a lot of things are staged and people are never living a life they trying to show you that they are. It's all
Right.
BS.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's all edited. It
Yeah.
all looks like a
My
dream.
eyebrows aren't naturally this symmetrical.
And I think another thing that's going on is a lot of people feel guilty. A lot of people, like you said, were ahead of their time. And now that those things are coming in fruition, they have survivor's guilt. They feel guilty
Mhm.
because now they watching everybody else struggle when they try to give you the recipe. And now you
Right.
got all these failed restaurants, and I gave you the recipe for free, and you ain't even used it this whole time. You
Right.
dig? And now you failing. And I have to live with that. I have to realize, like, this is a part of my growth that I don't go running back knocking on your door. Like, I gotta low key sever that tie. And that's a part of growing up that we don't get to decide when a kid has to make that kind of decision. You know what I mean? Because like
Mhm.
my college experience was a little different. So like I was going from college, like I went to college for psychology, like child therapy and
Oh,
family
that's
therapy,
awesome.
because of the autism. So I was studying psych and sociology since high school. You know what I mean? I had college credits going into college already. Like I cared about it a lot because I was learning about myself and I needed to know why people's mind worked the way. You know what I mean? Why did she wear
Right.
yellow?
That's the
Like,
same
why is
thing
he
like
eating
me.
that banana? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. I didn't
my
have the
mind
college
needed to
credits,
know.
but I was like you because what made me drawn, I was going to be a child psychologist because when I was 15, and I just want you all to remember, I'm some years older than you all are.
Okay.
But when I was 15, my peer who was African American and I went to a very interracial school killed herself.
Mm,
Mhm.
And it was traumatic for me for
Yeah.
reasons. I'm going to tell you why. We didn't kill ourselves, African American people, when I was
yeah,
a kid, that never happened. It was like a
yeah,
big deal.
Mhm.
Secondly, she wasn't my friend. We didn't even get along. But what she did was do all of the classic signs of suicide. Me and her had this horrific
mm,
falling out. She made amends with me. She was giving away her things. Like we just didn't realize that those were signs of suicide.
mm,
And it changed the trajectory of my whole career path.
Yeah.
Because I said, no kid should feel like that. No kid should
yeah,
ever feel like they don't want to be here anymore.
I.
And I want to be part of, helping children not feel that way.
Yeah.
And since then, and I felt like, this is weird, but you guys seem like you will understand it. I felt like a shift in the universe when it happened. Really, I
yeah,
did. Like, I just felt like this is a time in right now that things are going to just change. And I was right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's some of the
And
pain we've been holding on to.
absolutely.
A lot of our elders are learning now because we see it all through this show. A lot of people we talk to are either our age or elders, but a lot of us had almost attempts like when we were teenagers. Like a lot of us tried to do the deed. It just didn't take and it didn't work. And
Mhm.
we had to connect with each other through that because we had to be silent about it because to us it was taboo in a way. It felt like a sign of weakness. Like if we talked about
Absolutely.
it,
And that's what
you
my
know what I
books are
mean?
about. And that's what I want us to
We
get rid
felt
of and
less than
eradicate.
talking about like, man, I almost took my life when I was 14, but that stuff, like you said, we need to talk about.
Right.
So a lot more of us are talking about it now, and we're trying to say it in a way where we're not blaming our parents, but I'm still telling you what I went through, if that makes sense.
And I respect you for that. And I bet you a bunch of other people respect you too. And hopefully by you being so open, you are encouraging other people and the people who are listening to you to be honest too. We're not going to judge you.
Yes. I got a final question for you guys, based kind of off of this topic a little bit. We all agree that a lot of these things were happening and going on, and they weren't talked about.
Absolutely. And they're still going on. And they're still not talked about, Chloe.
Oh, man, listen. The question I have is, more people are talking about it now. Is it because things are safer? Because it doesn't seem like it. Is it because we have more platforms? Is it because we have more sense of community? We're talking more to each other? Or are we more tired of being silent? What do you guys think is the reason that's helping us talk more, so that we can either do more of that or build or grow from that to get these conversations more in the forefront?
I think we're changing our conversations. We're changing the conversation so that this isn't a taboo subject, that this is a normal, regular subject. You know, when you have a family member that's got diabetes, you all are talking about what we can do to keep that person's diabetes regulated. You know, we need to do the same thing with this. And, you know, this is what I say as a mental health professional. I'm sure Russ will echo me. You know, we can have something that's a scratch that if I put a Band-Aid on it, it will quickly heal. You can have things that, because you don't put a Band-Aid on it, you don't heal it, it becomes gangrene. I got to cut your hand off. That's what happens. That's what happened in my book. That's what I want people to understand. You know, when you are just pushing these things down, like Russ said, you know, and he had no one he could talk to about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's really bad for men.
Yes.
For women, they think, you know, it's okay for us to cry and fall apart. And you know what I'm saying? Men have to be strong in a different kind of way.
Yes.
And it can break them down more because we have these expectations of what we think men are supposed to do. But guess what, people? Men are people. Just like we people, they cry too. They get hurt too. They get upset too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off the soapbox now, y'all.
No, you're 100% right. It's the pressure. I've told even Chloe, I've had some buddies recently transition, you know what I mean? Like take their own lives. Like it's very real. And
it is
business and the pressure. And I think what's happening now is, well, as I agree with you, and I think it's becoming more general. I think now, you know, because before, even when there was like celebrities being created, people thought they were like mythical creatures. And now people are seeing them go through human things. They're realizing this stuff can happen to anybody.
It sure can. We all one banana peel away.
Smart you are.
Just one banana peel. Don't slip.
Cancer. You know what I mean? Like it don't matter how fit you are.
That's right.
It can happen to anybody at any time. And that made things real, because now there's nowhere you can hide. You can't say, well, my grandpa was healthy, so I'm good. That ain't got nothing to do with you and what they putting in the food right now. Your grandpa didn't have Snickers and stuff. You do. The Snickers and the ice cream now.
You know what? You are so right. But you know what I'm going to say? Just more people are feeling like so much stress. Like we really got to be careful. And that's what, like I said, I felt the shift in the universe. I really did. And since then, I'm just going to be very, you know, transparent. I've had 2 relatives who passed away from suicide. And it was really, really, really upsetting. And I remember one of them, I had to go to do an investigation for somebody who had committed suicide. And I had to go do that. And I was still traumatized.
Yeah.
by what happened with my relative. And when I was there doing the investigation, they were almost giving me therapy, okay,
Yeah.
to try to help me understand, the choice that he made.
Yeah.
We don't want people to feel that this is a choice that they need to make. We are here, and I want people to know if you are feeling like that, please reach out to 988. You can just text that on your phone,
Yeah.
and it will connect you to the nearest place that can help you. There's 24-hour help. So that's not just for yourself, it's also for your family members. Again, sometimes we have to intervene for the people that we love.
Yes.
But we need to make it so that we have safe spaces so people can come and tell you their truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to become more intelligent. So I see the whole world as duality. So there's a difference between smart and intelligent. To me, smart is like knowing the information. Like you could play Jeopardy. Intelligent is like you move in a way I can tell you understand this information by how you move, by how you carry yourself, by how you talk, by the choices and decisions you make.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there was a famous speech about depression, and they were saying, depression's very real. We're not going to act like it's not a real thing, but what are you doing for your depression? Because your diet isn't just what you eat, it's what you watch, it's what you listen to, it's the names people call you,
That's
it's how
right.
people talk to you. You know what I mean? All of that is your diet. So yeah, depression's real, but what are you doing to combat it, or what are you doing to feed it? You know what I
I
mean?
like
Because
that. Russ, you're really bright. You too, Chloe. But that's a very good, I'm serious. That's a really good way to look at it, that people are not thinking like that. Like, if you are all, and you know what? And if you have depression and you're drinking, guess what? You just gonna be more depressed because guess
yeah,
what? Alcohol is a depressant.
yeah,
So if you're depressed and you're drinking because you're feeling depressed, you're just gonna feel more depressed.
mm-hmm,
And having an understanding of that.
mm-hmm. Because now you're gonna feel away the next day because you're gonna be like, man, I spent yesterday drinking all day.
I mean,
So it's like it just keeps going.
Just to throw it out there, though, for both sides of the perspective, though, that a lot of people are not looking at depression as something they can heal or recover from. So a lot of the things that people are doing are to numb or to stop the pain or to temporarily disassociate from reality.
And
So,
Chloe, you're right. Because
yes,
most people don't want anybody to say they're depressed. So, like you said, for me not to even recognize I'm depressed, it's easier to numb that feeling
yeah,
than to
Yeah,
deal with it.
yeah,
yeah.
So you
I
may
think
not acknowledge it. So how can you treat something you're not even acknowledging? That's what you're saying, Chloe. So I think that maybe, you may not say you're depressed, but look at what's happening. Something's not right. You're not feeling the way you should feel. Just remember that again, talk to somebody. And it doesn't have to mean that you got to run into a psychiatrist. Everybody has a support system. Even your churches, a lot of churches, at least in Cleveland, we have I said it, a faith-based, a faith-based ministry in a lot of the churches where they are teaching, some of our ministers and our leaders in religion about mental health. So you can maybe even go to your church and say, hey, I'm having this issue. A lot of times they have people on staff. So there are ways to get help.
yeah,
But also you could just talk to somebody like your friends and your family members. And if you're a friend or family member, again, when somebody comes and talks to you about this, embrace the person and show them grace.
So
Because we may need grace.
full circle moment. It all comes back to community and how we show
Absolutely.
up for each other and how we show up for ourselves. So if you are feeling away, talk to your tribe and tribe be there. Listen.
Absolutely.
So I
yeah.
love
And then once you've done all you could do, it's out of your hands. A lot
Absolutely.
of the clients I see are teenage boys and 20-year-olds, and the younger boys, like some of their parents, from what I perceive, work their finger to the bone to set them up in therapy. And their son would be sleep on the call. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like sometimes people are doing everything they can to support you and you not showing up for yourself. So like that's a big part of it too.
That's true.
It's hard working with teenagers. I did that.
Oh,
Been there,
it's a
done that,
different
Russ.
world.
I'm gonna let you do it. Now I was in the trenches once. Okay.
I'll let you
They
do
crazy.
it.
I used to work with teenage felons. I used to work at Job Corps. Um,
Woo.
I used to work at an agency that had a residential facility. I used to do foster care and adoption for teens.
Wow.
And I agree with you. You know what? And you do have to, kids have to understand you're many adults too.
Yeah.
You know, you got to take some responsibility.
Yeah.
And if you have to decide, like you said, are you going to be somebody who's going to live or are you just going to die? If
Mm-hmm.
you're going to sleep, when you see that something's wrong, that somebody sees something wrong, maybe you need to just, take a minute
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and but this is what it is for young people. And this is what we need to make sure they remember and we remember too. It's hard to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard particularly if you have somebody that has a psychotic disorder.
Mm.
If I told you right now you weren't talking to me, you guys would be like, there's something wrong with her if you said I ain't talking to her. But for some people, they really are hearing and seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when you tell them that person isn't real or what they're thinking isn't real, it's difficult for them to understand.
Right.
And sometimes people feel like they have some kind of special magical talent you don't. So,
Yeah.
I remember my clients would tell me, I get to talk to God, you don't. And you want me not to talk to him no more. Russ is laughing because he met that person too.
I done heard that.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Get
and it's
real
not easy.
defensive. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a conversation that we had before about the difference between the reality and the truth.
Absolutely.
To feel very real and still not be true.
That's
So
right.
that's a good question that I think would be perfect for you too, that we're going to ask on the panel. So what do you do to separate your practice, your work, your principles, and your personal boundaries when you feel yourself slipping, like when you're in your career at any point? What is something that you do to cope?
I write.
Okay.
Okay. That's been very cathartic for me.
Mm.
But I also like to do other things. I'm a really big entertainment person. I love movies. I grew up with a
Same.
serious movie buff, and all of my kids are into movies. My daughter more into shows.
Mm.
Okay.
But I love to watch movies. And I actually, to be honest, I like to fish. But I do the cute girl fishing. So this is how cute girl fishing do. Okay. So I go with my husband and then he put the worm on the fishing on the rod.
Thank you.
And then
Thank you. Thank
he
you.
casts it. And then I hold the fishing pole, and when the fish bites, and I pull him in,
Okay. Yes.
and then he takes the fish off.
Yes. Yes.
I really enjoy that.
That's fishing. Yeah.
Those
So
are some
do
of the things
you
I try to do for fun because you know what? All work and no play will make me a very dull girl. So we always got to remember to not just always work. And we
yeah,
need to be, I always say I work hard, so I play hard.
yeah.
You got to have
Okay.
things to look
And that's
forward
mental
to.
health too.
I want to
Right.
ask you a marriage question for our
Sure.
because we've both been married before. Well, not to each other, but
Right.
we
Did
here
you say
today.
would you both tell me? Did you say you were divorced, Russ?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Chloe didn't
So
say, but see, I be listening.
they say you get a redo. They say you get one that wasn't a real one, and then
That
you
was
get
that was the test run. That was
if
the
you
test
need
run.
I
it,
agree.
The free
if you
trial.
need it, use it.
Me and
Likewise,
my husband been together 32 years,
Oh,
nice.
I love that.
and we both had failed relationships. He has two sons, and I had one, and then we had a daughter together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, after you'd have been burnt, you scared after that.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
You ain't trying to be a three-time loser. So
man. What? Them numbers getting up there. You like, woo, I might have to stay
right.
here. You gonna
It
you gonna have to
is.
make this work.
It's not easy, but what we talked about earlier is the most important thing is finding somebody that you match with who believes the same things you do. Who shares the same belief systems as you do. It's my husband is 9 years older than me.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when we met, we just clicked. We just clicked. And if you meet him, you would be like, how is this her dude? Because he completely seems, I'm serious, he's so opposite, or it would appear from me.
Yeah.
He's opposite in how he looks for me. He's real quiet. I'm very outgoing, but we're the same sign. Our birthdays are 4 days apart. And we always laugh. We're Aquarius. We're the yin and yang of Aquarian.
Okay.
And so, and we think alike. We have like saying, we think alike. That's what really helps us, is that for the most part, we have a lot of the same thought process. Now, you're not going to be 100% with somebody because that's weird.
Right.
It's gonna be things that influence why you believe what you believe. And a lot of times it is your upbringing.
Yeah.
Like he went to private school, I went to public school. You know what I mean? When it was time for our kid to go to school, I believe in public schools. And this is this is what I don't believe in. I don't believe in spending all that money for private school and then you think I'm about to spend a bunch of money for you to go to college. That's not happening.
I had 1 year at a private Catholic school.
Right.
I learned how I didn't do the things I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
We learned how to steal. We learned how to cuss. We learned how to speak out. I've lived in some questionable areas, but I saw drugs in that area.
Yeah. You still smell barbecue. You still had the experience.
Yeah.
Right.
We was talking about that earlier
about
because
my day. And I'm
that's
like,
a big thing that happens with our generation when we were coming up. There was the story about, that black boy that went missing on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we were seeing for our peoples in the suburbs. I didn't see a lot of other people other than black people at my school. There was maybe 3. Most of the school was black. You know what I mean? So
right. And I went to a really interracial school. Actually, I went to Cleveland Heights High, which is the school that Travis Kelce.
Boy,
And
don't pay her.
I'm sorry.
I said if Cleveland don't pay you.
Right. But I mean, it's Cleveland Heights High is a suburban school. It's not in the inner city. And it's where Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce went. And they actually went to school with my son.
Oh,
so
okay. Nice.
When I went there, it was very, very interracial. You know what I mean? And that's good and bad.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what the bad part about it is that it was like living in a bubble. Everything wasn't really real sometimes. And I remember when I first went to college, I saw some of my friends from high school in college and they act like they didn't know me and it really hurt me. Like we're in a whole different environment, and now you don't know me no more. I went off to school with you.
Right.
You with your new friends, they don't look like me. And I'm very happy to see you. And you just basically ignoring me,
Yeah.
It is not easy. It's hard to find your way. But we all eventually do. And we got to remember we stumble. Sometimes we fall. But like Kirk Franklin, what we do, we get up. We don't stay on the ground.
Get right back up.
Absolutely.
I know a big staple in our lives were sitcoms.
Right. Still
and a
is.
lot of us lived those sitcoms. You hear me? we was in situations because I went to school in Boston originally. And one of my close guys was Italian. So I didn't like how other countries is with here. I don't know everything about your culture. Like we know the little bit of stuff they try to teach us in school, but I really don't know. I feel like y'all don't know us. So he never really invited me to his house. Like he would go to all of our places, but we never got to go to his house. So one day we was like rushing, had to stop by his house. So we was in the living room chilling and we overheard like his dad in the other
going
room
off, right?
Like he didn't like us, you know
what I mean? Of course.
Just because we was black and he like, I don't know them and we need to watch them. Like we never went back. And like he was so embarrassed we got to school, he didn't say nothing about it. So I'm like I'm gonna say something, you dig? I'm the outspoken one in my circles. So I just went and told him, I'm like, look, it's no bad blood. Like you are not, other people's ignorance.
Right.
I know you for knowing you. Now I understand why you don't want people to go to your house. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's sad, isn't it?
I shouldn't have been curious. You know what you're doing. So I'm
right.
Like, cool. You don't got to worry about that. But I feel like for him, we kind of just faded apart. I felt like what happened was too much. You know what I mean? And he didn't. I feel like he felt guilty and felt bad for like what we had to hear.
Right.
And that was a culture shock for me. Because again, I'm used to just being around black people. So, but to me, like Italian, black, like I don't really see you as a white person per se. You're just Italian. You know what I mean? Bro,
you know what, you sound like my son's father. My son's father is biracial. And his mother is German. He would go, my mother's not white, she's German.
Yeah.
And you go, do you understand that that's part of Europe? Like, what's wrong with you?
It's different.
Like,
it's different. When I say white, I'm thinking pilgrim.
Right.
If you got an accent, you something else.
But that's why we just have to.
In your cooking,
right. We have to help each other and realize that a lot of us experience the same issues, right? Because I remember when I was growing up, it was like a young lady who had a crush on my brother, a white girl. And she would walk my brother home every day. My brother would be like, he wasn't feeling it. You hear me? Not at all. He would be so upset. And then when we would come up and my mother would see her, following them home, my mother would be like, you have to walk her home now. But my brother would say the same thing you did. Like when he would walk her to her house, he could hear her father being upset. Yeah. And he's upset because he's going, I don't even like your daughter. Right. She keep following me home. I am not interested in her. Okay. So
why I gotta be a monkey? I don't even want the girl.
Right. My brother was like really upset. He go, I don't even like her. But my mother was be like, you are going to be a gentleman. Like she came home with you. She should be walking you home. So now you need to walk her home to ensure she gets home safely. My brother would throw a fit, but he would do it, Yeah. And he go, because he said, I hear her father. When I walk up, I can hear the things her father is saying.
Yeah. You can probably feel the energy coming out the house.
No, that's dangerous though, for real.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
Would have took that conversation outside to him directly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But see, one thing I failed to mention, I'm about to mention Cleveland again, girl. But I grew up with a Cleveland police officer. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't have been a good idea. Yeah. And that's why another reason why I'm a mental health professional, because my stepfather was a Vietnam vet. And I was his therapist at like 12. Okay. I would be like, you do know I'm 12, right?
Right.
You telling me about stuff in Vietnam. You do know that I'm a kid, right?
Wasn't trying to hear no child labor laws, none of that.
Right.
Get your notebook.
Right.
You guys are awesome. I really enjoyed you.
I gotta tell you something.
Oh, we loved having you.
And I just got to show y'all my books. Please. I did bring them. Look, I hope y'all can see them.
Yes.
This is the workbook. We didn't talk about that much.
Ooh.
But my workbook is and then I have my other 2 books.
Yes. Oh,
those beautiful. Are really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very professional.
I did a workbook because as a mental health professional, when people read the book, the first book, the anniversary, the second book is the commemoration, and the third book is the revelation. But after they read the anniversary, so many people told me they wanted to know more about mental health. So I wrote a book for lay people to help them be better advocates for family members and friends. And it's not just for mental health, it's also for drugs and alcohol. A lot of times, this, Russ, how many people don't understand what we are saying because we use a lot of jargon.
Yeah.
And so many folks don't know. They're afraid to say, I don't know what you're talking about, because they don't want people to think that they're stupid or that they don't know anything.
Yeah.
And I tell folks all the time, don't ever be afraid to speak up and ask questions about your health or your family member's health. Like that's our job, is to explain it to you. They're not purposely doing that. That's just that, you're talking and you're used to talking to a bunch of professionals, but it helps a little bit better. I swear to God. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. I never get calls like this, y'all.
They blowing her up. It's the face, though.
God. I am so sorry.
Those are readers calling. They need the book.
No, it's not a reader. No. Oh God. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, this is hilarious.
I'm just guessing everyone's gonna be an hour from now on because
more than
they love chatting with us.
This is a good conversation. We're good conversationalists.
This interview gonna go down in history as the most interrupted. I am so sorry, people.
At least now you know how to use StreamYard.
I knew how to use StreamYard, but I don't know how to. This on my phone. I'm not used to doing interviews on my phone. I would have been on my big computer. Sorry, y'all.
No, it's cool. It's we were just saying we used to tell people 30-minute episode. We get rid of that. However long it takes.
Y'all can split it up if y'all want to.
I got it. Listen, I need to change.
We got a couple 2-hour ones, so you right. You good.
I gotta change the calendar app, man. We gotta change how we book these.
We can't. Yeah,
but you know what? I'm gonna say this for your readers to tell you. You said we got to tell you where to follow us. Everything for me is novelist JJ Winston. For my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that. I got to have all my people help me because, as you can see, I am LD when it comes to technology. That's how come I keep on losing y'all. It's like the fourth time. Yeah, so sorry.
You get back? Didn't you just say you get back up again?
I do. I done got back every time, but I'm like, golly, geez. You know what? I'm like, I'm about to lose you. Did y'all hear me say that?
Yeah.
It was far more hilarious than it probably should have been for me. Okay. I was tickled.
Man, listen. But you were talking about something very important, and it was a lot of ways, we are connected without realizing it. I was telling Chloe this in the beginning, like, when I was a new parent, because I have no shame. It's either because I'm a Scorpio, so it's either that or the autism, but I have no shame.
That's what my daughter is, Lordy Lord.
Okay. When my kids were babies, I didn't know a lot about, like being an adult. So when I was taking them to the dentist, I'd be asking her a million questions like, why do you burst in circles? And why do you do it? And she just doing the work and like, I'm gonna write you a list down. I'm like, all right, thanks, cool. Cause I was wondering, I heard something and I didn't know. And what if they get a rash on their ankle? You know what I mean? Like I would ask millions of questions.
I think that's a good idea. You have a right to know. You know what? We pay people a lot of money for a service. We have a right to ask questions.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people, if they just know the answer, it will help them. Mm-hmm. Something just flew right by me, y'all. Something they got in my house. Look, I'm like, what? I thought it was a bird for a minute. Okay. It's a big bug. Okay. But yeah, I think that's really good that you do that. And I think other people should do it too.
Yeah. I seek legal advice and stuff from professionals, not not from the uncle that can't stay out of jail. Like, someone that keeps people out of jail. I want to talk to that person.
Oh my God. You'd be like, you got somebody there. Why you keep going back? What's going on?
If they know your name down in the county, I ain't asking you no legal questions.
Right.
I don't want to know.
Right.
So yeah, I think that too, it felt like they felt good. Like, okay, you asking me some good questions. You know what I mean? You could be asking me about something dumb. You actually asking me a good question about, like, do I give my kid milk? Do I do this? What if they're crying and they're teething? What do I do? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And the rest
it's hard
of
being a parent
from my elders.
Right. And your elders don't remember all that. They don't remember some of the day-to-day stuff. Like, when you have a baby, honestly, my kids were 13 years apart. I forgot that the kids had to learn how to hold the spoon and you had to get the spoon and fork. I forgot all of that. Like, kids just don't know how to hold the spoon and fork and put it to their mouth. They practice that. And that's what we do in life. We practice what we do. And that's okay.
Yeah. So you just put the spoon down and was looking at him crazy?
You know what? I was like,
You
you
ain't
know what? And
hungry?
I was telling my mom, and she
You're
said,
not
I was
hungry?
asking her questions, and she said, do you know how long ago it was since I was little? I don't remember all that. I
Poor
forgot. I'm
baby.
sorry. Okay.
Poor baby.
I
My
think
son, I remember I tried to give him some spaghetti. He just fell asleep in the middle of the spaghetti. I walked out the room. I came back in. He was trying to eat the spaghetti. He was exhausted. Okay.
it was. I know
So
he
now
was.
you gave me another question.
Oh goodness.
And this is with love.
Okay.
Who was the kid of yours that surprised you the most? And who was the kid who you were like, okay, I kind of seen who you became. Like I seen this happening. And who was like, you was not right about who you thought they were at all.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I felt like I was right about both my kids, but my
Okay.
son was challenging in a different way.
Okay.
My daughter, it's difficult when you have a chronically ill kid
Yeah.
because she was always extremely, extremely bright, but socially, she's, stagnated.
Yeah.
It's hard because they don't get, I'm having a hot flash, so I'm old. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to fan myself a little, okay?
All good.
But I got my fan somewhere in here. But with my daughter, when you're dealing with, a kid with a chronic illness, I had to make her do more. My son is like me, like my high school, they inducted me into their Hall of Fame. I graduated with like 1,000 people in my graduating class. Like I went to a really big school. If you had told my class, my members, that I was going to be in a Hall of Fame, they would have laughed at you. Okay. They would have been like, you guys to be joking me. Okay. That's how my son is. He's a sleeper.
Mm.
You would never know how bright he is, how smart he is. He's very down to earth. He's fun, but he's always thinking. He's always reading. And that's the reason why I put the chessboards on my covers too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into chess, and I think that people should teach their kids chess. Chess will help you with life. You have to learn how to be strategic, how to plan ahead, and and also it's a metaphor because I want people to realize if you're a king, you always is better. So Russ, you was asking a question, I'm answering it for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna always run your kingdom better with a queen because the queen can move, do everything on the board except one thing it can't move like, but everything else it can do. And the queen is gonna protect her king and her kingdom. That's her job, and that's how life is in real life. Real women, the real queens, gonna look out for their kings and their kingdom. But if you're a king, you got to treat your queen like a queen. If you do that, she gonna bring a chessboard for you. Okay. Am I wrong, Chloe? Chloe, like this lady speaking truth. Okay.
What they do?
Okay. But finding a person that is worthy to be a queen is not always easy. Everybody is not queen material. Everybody is not worthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
I
up
agree.
to you to vet these people so that you find the person that is your queen.
And that goes back to what you were saying, being equally yoked. But I can't ask from you if I don't know who I am.
Absolutely.
So I
You
have
have
to
to
let you
learn
know
who
up
you are.
front, like I'm here to heal people. Then you could say, okay, how are we gonna do? We're gonna do a hospital, we're gonna do a garden, like how we doing that? You know what I mean? Now you can support, but you can't support me if I don't know what I'm doing.
But you do this for a living. So when you go home, you might need a queen who can heal you.
Yeah.
And that's important. You know what? When you're somebody who's in a profession like you're in, you give a lot of yourself. I was really good about when I would be, you got to have a little bit of selfishness when you got this kind of job. And I would vet people because what happens is, I'm just going to speak plainly, when you're a strong person and you do this for a living, people are attracted to you. People who might see something in you that they need.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. But you know what? They need you. You don't necessarily need that for them because you do this all day. You got to be
Mm-hmm.
real careful. So when I was dating, if you was too
You
needy,
gotta
you was
be
getting
real
X.
careful. Mm.
Seriously,
I'm
if you was
sorry.
too needy,
It
you
was
was
getting
getting
so
X.
good. It was so
You
good.
don't
I
do
forgot
too
where I
needy.
was.
What'd you say, Chloe girl? Because I didn't hear you, baby.
It was getting so good. I almost forgot where I was. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm just giving Russ some advice, some
Mm-hmm.
motherly and auntie advice. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mhm.
It's certain things that you're going to need. And so that's why I love my husband. He's quiet. He's my quiet rock. I'm serious. And sometimes he will get irritated too because he sees how much I give of myself.
Mhm.
But you have to be good at having boundaries and saying, oh, I can't do that. And if you meet somebody who, they need all that from you and they're not, providing something for you that you need,
Mhm.
it ain't gonna work out. So
Mm-hmm.
find somebody who's worthy to be your queen, who is gonna help heal you, because there's something you need too.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly, like I said, when you're doing this work, you're pouring out of yourself all day. Seriously. When you come home, you need somebody who's gonna be like, here, you sit down.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get you a plate. Let me, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So
That's real.
you know what? When I get done being a judicial officer, then I'm gonna take my stage. I'm gonna get on the stage and try to give my advice. I hope people take it. Okay.
Well, you heard it here first. She was here
Okay.
first on the Good Life podcast. But no, I want to give you guys your flowers and definitely commend you for being in these types of roles. I feel like I'm very like service oriented, but I can't give the way you guys give, like the way you guys have to show up. You're literally like taking this stuff from them. You're absorbing this stuff from them. I know that's not for me. I can't do that. I'm a different kind of vessel. I can't handle and carry those kind of things. So
And
for
that's okay. We all got strengths and talents.
yes, but for you guys to be able to do that, absorb that, and not let it change you, not let it affect you.
It
You're
does change us though, but it may not negatively change us because it
oh,
does shape how we might see things. And me doing this kind of work again is what made me come up with what I came up with for my novels. Because again, what I want people to, understand is that these are people's lives. So folks keep asking me after they read the book, who are these people? And I keep telling them, it's fiction. Okay. And apparently I'm a hell of a writer. Y'all keep
Yeah.
thinking these are real people. These are not real people. I made them up. But they feel real because they're people who live with the kind of issues that I'm talking about every day. And if you don't live with that, that's good for you, but you living with something because we all are.
Yep.
yes, yes, and anything can happen to anybody.
That's right.
You never know how this might show up in your life later. Don't
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And,
don't ever think that you're too big or too good for anything.
I remember having a client once who lost, I believe, 8 relatives in 2 months.
Oh,
Whew.
And she had a breakdown.
yeah,
If you had told her 3 months before that she would ever have a breakdown,
right.
she would have told you something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I tell people, you don't know what you might be able to take before you break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All of us can break.
And breaking
Mm-hmm.
is not the end of the world. It's not.
Right. But I'm just saying, we are so sometimes judgmental of others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to help carry somebody, we just want to kick them down more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of our disconnection. There's people who want help from others, but can't identify others need help in different ways. You know what I mean? It
Right.
has to be reciprocated. We have to give
Absolutely.
and take. Yeah. That's why I believe in paying it forward. Like, I have a question I ask in therapy, if it could rain at any point in the week, when would you want it to rain? And to me, it's like Monday morning, you dig? Like, let's get it out the way so I can enjoy my week. If it's gonna rain, bring me the rain. Because the rain ain't so bad to me. I'm gonna go plant some seeds, I'm gonna get a bucket, you know what I mean? I'm gonna use it. but I'm not like if this is going to be the hardest thing, let me just do it. So then
And
I
see,
can
that's a
have
good
peace of
question.
mind.
I'd be like, is there a drought going on? Because I want it to rain every day now.
Yeah, you want
You
all
know what I'm
rain.
saying? Because I might want it to rain all the time, given the circumstance.
Yeah,
I would
that's a good
ask more
response.
questions to determine if I need it to rain or not, or it might have rained too much already. So we
Yeah.
are about to have a mudslide. I don't want no more rain. So
So
I would
you
have to
got your
ask some
follow up
questions while I
questions
answer.
first. That's that professional in you.
Yeah, right. That's where that attorney came from.
Right, that's right. I'm gonna ask some more questions before I ask them.
Before I ain't say anything, let me get some
Right.
more information. I love that.
So can you give us some insight on, are there more books coming? Is there a new direction? Are there new
Yes, that
characters?
was the last book. The Revelation is the last book in my series. Even though my writing partner has really wanted me to continue the series, I refuse to, because it comes a point where everything must end. We already talked about that. Like, you can't, to me, it's time to start something new. And so I think that my next book, because I work in family court, will probably have more of a family court twist. And what I really want to talk about when it's that time for me to do that is I really want to talk about divorce, and I want to talk about children and divorce trauma.
Mm,
People don't realize that the divorce trauma is, or divorce stress is, the second worst stress that anybody can have. Because the first stress is if you lose a spouse.
mhm.
And then second is divorce. And I mean, it really can harm people. But what it does harm sometimes is families and children. Because what Russ said earlier really is important. We have people who tell their kids too much,
Yeah.
put a lot of pressure on their children, and we're causing kids to have a lot of serious problems that they don't deserve.
Yeah.
Mhm. Anxiety.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So my books are serious novels, so it's gonna take me some time. I started it, but I'm gonna be honest, y'all. It's hard to write when you're trying to market all the time. It's hard to sell
Yeah.
these books, y'all. Help us out. Go to my webpage and help us out.
Where can we buy these books? Where can they find them?
You can buy them on Amazon. You can get them at Barnes and Noble. You can get them anywhere books are sold, but you can also get them from our website, which is www.novelistjjwinston.com. So,
The one and only.
absolutely. So, I really enjoyed you guys. I always had a really nice time with you. I really appreciate you inviting me to be on your podcast. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. It's an honor and a privilege. And I
Mhm.
appreciate you both.
We
We do
definitely
too.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you for coming. We family now. So
I
if you
know
got
that's
any
right.
questions,
Now, I can't do your panel on Sunday, but I'll do the next because I'm going to be in Columbus.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
Yeah,
Unless
we'll
y'all
plan
tell me
another
to
one
come to the
soon.
put
panel,
your
it's after
information
5:30.
down.
Oh,
I
that's
already put
right.
your information down. Don't worry about that. We know when we
Okay,
see
but I'll be able to be at some more panels if you invite me because I
For
do
sure.
enjoy speaking about these subject
it.
matters. And I'm
Please.
hoping that your audience has been moved to take action if necessary, not
Yes.
just for themselves, but for their family, and show up for everybody, but show up for you most.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. And we'll be live. So, we'll be on Facebook streaming too. So join in on the conversation at the panel. You can watch and take notes
Okay.
and have questions.
All right.
Yeah, and everyone watching, you'll be able to watch this episode when it's done on YouTube. We'll also have it on all podcast platforms. Lee in this Apple Podcast and Spotify. So make sure y'all following our page if y'all want access to that. It has been a great show.
Yes.
I'm one of your hosts again, Good Life for Us. I go by that handle all social media. Make sure you check me out.
I'm one of your other hosts, Chloe Simone, recently updated to Chloe Simone Studio across every social media platform. And we are sending off with extreme love and gratitude the novelist, James Winston.
Mhm.
Thank you guys again for having me.
Thank you for coming, man. It's been a treat.
All righty.
All right, everybody, take
Bye.
care. We'll
Now I'm
see
gonna
y'all
have look.
soon.
Now when it's time to leave, I don't know what to do because I kept getting kicked out.
Oh, I'll get you out. Don't worry.